Hello, this is Everett Pearson. Today is July the 28th, 2016. Now, I posted this on my Facebook at Einstein314. So you would know beyond a shadow of a doubt I had this posted way before the drawing. Now, let me briefly explain, without giving everything up, as to how I came up with my numbers. Now, you should know by now, doing your numbers, that all lottery systems are set up where they have the means to control the numbers. They also have the means to put out numbers that are random. And they utilize both to implement capitalism so they can maximize the profits that come in. Okay, so as you will see on my pyramid here, you have a 2 on top, we have a 4 on the bottom. Powerball yielded, the Powerball itself was 24. So that's simple enough. So we got the Powerball. If you're going to get anything correct on your ticket, you want Powerball, at least it pays you something back. Now, if you notice in my pyramid of numbers, I had a few areas boxed in. I boxed it in because it told me there was a variable to it. 3 around it and a 1 to 4, that's a pi. And you got a 4, that's a number of pi. There's a 1 and then an 8. Just below the 8, because if you convert an 8, it'll be a 3. And that's not far away. So we got pi surrounding our two numbers here. And as we know with Chichén Itzá, with the design outside the Chichén Itzá pyramid, you have this design on each of the levels, which essentially is what a 2 and a 5 looks like if you blend them together. Okay, so a 2 and a 5 is basically a variable, meaning there's going to be something out of the ordinary when you have a variable in there. You have to treat it differently. Okay, so 2 becomes a 5 and a 5 becomes a 2. So 65, and we still got to consider the 4. 4 tells us the placement. So 65, in which we have 65, number 4. 65 was the 4th number out in the Powerball. So not only does it tell us the number, but also it's important to tell us the hierarchy, the placement. Okay, to come up with 6 numbers in the right, correct order, it's not 300 million to 1 odds. It's now into 3.4 million trillion, 3.4 trillion to 1 odds of telling the exact order of those numbers coming out. Okay, now let's go over to here, our other boxed in. We went to the very far right number. That was a 4. Our box is here, but our very far right number is a 5. Okay, so we're going to read it from inside out. We have a variable, so 2 becomes a 5. So you got 5 and 0, 50. And a 5. In the lottery, 50 came out as the 5th number out. Now, being that we have a 2 on top and a 4 on the bottom, that takes automatically the easy one. And what's below the 2? You see a 6. Okay. So 24 is either the 6, and you figure here's a 3. So it could potentially, if energy decides at the last minute, it could put 24 as the 3rd one out. But when you stop and think about it, the 3rd one out, if you convert, let's get this focused in. Okay, 68. If we convert that on a 10 scale, 8 becomes a 2 and 6 becomes a 4. 24. You see the relationship here? So 8 and 2 makes a 10, and 6 and 4 makes a 10. Get this. Okay, so as you can see with number, I had 2 choices. So in terms of placement, I would put 24 as my Powerball number, And I can, as an alternative, I could also put 24 as my regular number, but down as in third placement. Okay, now if you look at the 6, and underneath that is the 3. Okay, so, let's get his focus in here. So 6 is the first one, and then 3. Primary, secondary. So the primary of 24 would be the Powerball itself. Okay, and as we illustrated here, 50. So it illustrated 5, 6, 5, and 4. So this was all done, posted on my Facebook way before. So if you're in question as to, do I know my numbers? Do I understand numbers? Each and every equation is going to be different. This equation yielded all 6 numbers. And the question is, why am I not a jackpot winner? Which will lead you to believe, or will lead you to one answer, is they control the numbers. They offer controlled numbers as well as random numbers, and they mix it up so it doesn't look obvious that it is being controlled. But here is an explanation as to not only with the number, but it also tells me what placement that it's going to be in. What number it's going to be in, 65, and what placement it's going to be in. 24, as we illustrated here, is the 6th or the third one out. And being that it came down as 6 and 3, it told me primary and secondary. That is just for those 3 there. And I'm only going to illustrate that for right now, just to give you something to chew on. And for those out there that think you know numbers, yes, you look more pathetic than anything. And for those who have not taken the opportunity to learn from me, then you're just as pathetic to pass over opportunity like me. With that, this is Everett Pierce on this 28th day of July, 2016. Godspeed.